Hi, this is Tim Hamilton, the co-host of the Maryland Crabs, and I'm here with a Crabcake for your listening pleasure. What's a Crabcake? Well, it's not quite a full episode, it's just a little snippet. Stay tuned and check it out. Make sure you check us out on themarylandcrabs.com. You can follow us on Twitter at MD Crabs Podcast or find us on Facebook at the Maryland Crabs Podcast. Don't forget, subscribe, rate us, iTunes. Go there now. All right, I'm at the Thibodeau Media Group right now with Liz Thibodeau and Torrey Pocock.
Yep.
And we start off with a couple inappropriate jokes and squeaky chairs, and now we're here.
Yes.
I'm excited to be here.
You guys are like 2 feet above me right now. I feel like
Let me get down.
I feel like the little
Like
kid at
this.
the Thanksgiving table.
Is this better?
So you can tell we're in a different space because we're not echoing across the walls and bouncing and reverberating. You have the foamy stuff up here on the walls that
We do. You are at Two Producer Studios.
Right, and you're two producers.
Yes,
we are two producers. In many cases, I do believe that we're two producers.
And we've got Jesse, who's floating around here with a camera.
Yeah, he's our...
with his New Mexico tattoo. We had a big talk about that because I'm from New Mexico for 6 years.
Very nice.
Where am I from, John?
Oh, he's not listening.
He's out there.
John's the worst. We're not having John in this. His mic is off. We're just going to let him. We told him his mic's on in the other room. So thanks for letting us have you. Here.
Thanks for
this
coming.
This is great. This is I gotta say, this is probably the newest production studio in Annapolis.
I would say so.
I think so. Yeah, we've been here for a month now, and we've been working together for a while. We've both been in the business for a long time, but the need for media, the need for different types of digital assets, really led to us putting this together. And so now it has a big sound stage. It has also a YouTube space, smaller spaces for podcasting just like this. And we're really excited about it. It's a great we want it to be a collaborative, creative space. Yeah.
It's funny how we've gone into multimedia, where it used to be you were in TV production or you were in radio, and the TV production was for either the local broadcast stations or local cable, down in dirty 30s, you're doing your ads.
Right.
And now you're seeing so much more of the video production when it comes to digital. So YouTube, Facebook, even Twitter, all those things. So what you thought was going to be, and it used to be that with the equipment, anyone could do it. And you found out, anyone could do it, but they just couldn't do it well.
Right.
So you still need the traditional space, and you still need the traditional equipment and people who know how to do it. So I think you had that blip for about 5 years in the production industry where it kind of fell off. And all of a sudden, everyone was like, oh, we do need that.
Well, and I've been in video production in Annapolis for, 20 years, formerly with the company Take One Digital Media. And back in the day then, video was very, very expensive and kind of out of reach for a lot of people, small businesses and things like that, and ad agencies would come to us. And we did have some clients that were, private companies, but it was expensive. And it was like the gear was expensive and the deliverable was broadcast television, spots and things like that. And then with the advent of the internet and YouTube and Facebook and all that kind of social media and the need for video, it's just more accessible. And then I do think that we were in this bubble of, there's all these cool places to put video, but it's still really expensive and difficult to produce. And now there's kind of this marriage of it isn't, that's what we're doing. We're making it accessible, affordable. Yeah, we can still do the big guns for broadcast television, but we can also really help you with, getting your YouTube channel started or some Facebook or social media videos for promo, whatever,
Yeah, and I think that part of it is now that people need video right now, and there's even if I was to back that statement back and say maybe people want video more right now. The idea is that because of the experience that a studio like this has, we can take something that normally would have been really geared towards just that 30-second TV spot, and because we've got the experience to think about what we're about to go shoot, because we've got the experience to understand where these products are going to go, a studio like this can turn what was going to be just a 30-second ad into a 2-minute video, a 6-second spot for Google, a 30-second spot for Twitter, a 1-minute video for Instagram, all within that same day. And so it's because we're thinking about it, and because now we're much more nimble with the type of cameras that we use, the editing stuff that we have, we're able to just really deliver much more product in a shorter amount of time. But it's still that, like you mentioned, that quality needs to be there. there was kind of a drop off some. You know, still you can still produce something cool for YouTube with your phone. There's no doubt about that. We have some agencies that ask us to film like it was with your phone.
Or to edit what they did film with their phones.
With their phone, yeah. But I'd say anything, you know, what we're trying to do is take what, you know, 5 years ago, really the only place that you were going to put something was on TV and maybe on your website with some other server like that was going to, you know, serve that video for you. Now you've got, just like you mentioned, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat,
everywhere.
You know, everywhere, and we can produce those smaller pieces just
and
because we think about it differently.
The appetite for it is voracious.
Well, it's amazing what they've done. It used to be, you know, I learned this in school, that when you came out and you worked for an advertising agency, all agencies charged the same. It was your 15%. So what delineated you from other agencies was the talent that you had, like Mad Men. Because you get the most talented people that you had, and they came up with the best content, and for print, for radio, for TV, and boom, there you have it. And now it's not just the creativity, but it's the way that it's used. I'm thinking, for example, Dollar Shave Club.
Right.
That, for me, that was one of the most brilliant examples. I teach a class on this, and I'm like, look at what they did with this.
Right.
And just how they packed all this information into 2 minutes, and it was hilarious, it was viral, it was all those things. And people try to make things viral,
and
you can't because you've got to. But you're selling stuff. Ultimately, no matter what you are, whether it's a political ad, whether it's you know, for a restaurant, for a real estate group, it's sales. You know, but you have to be compelling, and it's got to be creative. So that's where, you know, I think everyone was so conservative for the last 20 years or 30 years, and now when the amateurs got a hold of it, sure that the quality kind of suffered, but the creativity was there. And I think folks like you have picked up the mantle, going, all right, let's take the quality and let's meld it with the creative and put it all together.
Yeah, I'll take it into it. I'll jump into this real quick. Here's why this studio exists. It's to help someone who may just be doing that YouTube video, or a company that may just need video for their website. And something I learned from you was the idea.
He pointed at me.
I have learned a lot from her. Was that, you know, you want to see subtitles in many cases when you're watching a video, and sometimes it's helpful to see that. But when you get the right type of file loaded with your video, Google can now index the words that you and I are speaking right now. So when I say Rigo Productions, 2 Producer Studios, Thibodeau Media Group are now all in Annapolis, if you take that in your subtitles...
It's like an SRV file or
SRT
file.
SRT. But it's data. All it is data.
It's data. But now you can really maximize that video and turn it into something that, you know, you go to Google to search for stuff. The second place you go is YouTube to check it out. And now they index that stuff. And so, you know, in many cases, just give them that information for free. Tell people, don't forget to do that. But that's what this studio is all about. It's about taking what you may have done before and just making a video and figuring out all the little itty bitty things that are going to make it just that much more powerful. Because at the end of the day, someone's paying to get that video content done, and we want to make sure that it gets them the most bang for the buck. And so, anyway, come to the studio. Yeah. We're teaching, we're learning. And
2producerstudios.com.
So right here off Chinkapin.
Yep, we're in Lincoln Park off Chinkapin Round Road.
Oh, you say it fancy too. Yeah,
Chinkapin Round Road.
Have you seen the tree out there? There's an actual Chinkapin tree out there.
Yeah, I didn't. I've lived here for 20-some years. I didn't know it was a tree. And I worked in the garden industry for 10 years. I'm like, oh, it's a tree.
Yes, we're right near the Chinkapin tree.
Yeah. What I do know is that there is a tree there.
Yeah.
And it says Chinkapin
tree. It's
tree.
got a sign on it.
Maybe
Chinkapin. There's a statue of Aristotle Allen out there right there, too.
Yes, yeah.
And kind of hidden away.
Yeah, but we're collaborative. I like the lab in collaborative. You know, we want people to call and say, hey, I have an idea or whatever. We are creative collaboratives.
Well, my wife and she sells cable advertising, and she's done that for a long time. She's very good at it. And the argument that I've always had with her is, you know, when she's trying to get a small business on the air. And it used to be that cable and broadcast firms, if you agreed to advertise with them, they'd crank out a spot for you.
Yeah, they would.
And they stopped that about 10 years ago.
Thank goodness.
And so, but what happened was that you had these small businesses to whom, you know, if they were charging, $800, $1,500 for production, that's a lot of money for mom and pop. And that's what I said, you know, my wife and I have always had that argument for her. She's like, it's not that much. I'm like, it is for a small business. That's, you know, you're paying 2 people, that's their weekly salary, you know, so that's a lot of money. But I think now the price has really fallen on that, and you can also repurpose a lot of that. So, okay, we'll make an ad for you that you can use for, if you want to do something for cable or for broadcast. We can also make make that YouTube link or for your Facebook page, and we can tell you how to upload it and not just link it and all these things that people don't know, because they're like, look, I know this business. I don't know how to do this stuff.
Right.
And that's where you have, you know, the lab people come in.
Come on in and we'll talk to you. And help you figure it
Now,
out.
what about people who want to use the space? You can do that as well.
Yeah, the studio we are doing this podcast in, we're calling our YouTube studio, and it's, as you can see, a smaller studio, soundproof, and green screen, and we're renting it hourly. If people want to come in and just do something and they can't hire a whole big crew, if they need us and our camera, we're also available for that. But if they have their own gear and they just want to come in and use the studio, they can do that.
So you can record voice stuff, things that you just need to come in real quickly. Again, to serve the need that there's a lot of people that need to do just a quick press release video or a video press release. They just need to come in and get quick headshots for something for a new employee that they, we recently did that. They added an employee or someone didn't make it out to the big photo shoot, so they were able to come over here and quickly just get what they needed fast. And so, again, we're trying to make sure that we can meet the need of how people are producing now, whether we're actually producing it or other people coming in and use the space, because there are a lot of good producers and directors out there, and we want to encourage those people to come over here and know that they've got support.
Yep.
Right, and sometimes they have the ideas, but they don't know how. They don't have the know-how and how to do it all. Yep. So it's twoproducerstudio.com.
There's information about Torrey's company, Rigo Productions, and mine, Thibodeau Media Group, and then also a book, The Studio. We have the layout, the floor plans of the two studios, and a form that they can request studio time, and we'll get back to them. And we're trying to make it easy peasy.
A lot of people don't like to pick up the phone anymore.
Yeah.
So
we do have a phone number, too. We have a phone.
It's
I don't know it.
I don't know. Just hit us up on twoproducerstudios.com.
If I got to call someone now, it's like, it's just, it's not
It's so
worth it.
painful, isn't it? It's so painful.
I text like a 13-year-old girl. When my phone rings, I just stare at it.
That's
so you
fantastic.
going to get that? I'm like, no. Just think it's your mom. I'm like, I know. But
She can text
great.
me.
yeah,
That's
she can
great.
text.
Yeah.
And then I'll call my mom, and she doesn't pick up. I'm like, oh, she wants me to text. So,
Yeah, but thank you for coming here.
well, thanks for having us. This is
we
absolutely
appreciate it.
fantastic. Because you kind of
Anytime.
fed the dog now because we're going to keep coming back. So
Anytime.
we're
Well,
putting
It's a
tables
great
and-
place. It's easy, man. It's easy. Part of this video production thing is that we ask this so many times. What's the thing that stops you from doing video? And, some people might say it's what it costs. But many people are just like, I just don't know what I'm supposed to
Where
do.
to
Or
begin.
it's so complicated. Is it a Hollywood production? Well, the thing is that what we're trying to do is make it easy. And by making it easy, you can get the media that you need to help promote your business, to market your charity event, to talk about your event. Because, people will read, when they have to. But they're going to watch video whenever they have the opportunity. And so that's where our niche is.
Yeah, I quit reading. It was just, its words are so long.
I'll do a shameless plug. We have a video series on LinkedIn called Two Producer Tuesday. So we put one out on LinkedIn every Tuesday. We also push it out on Facebook. But if people want to connect with us on LinkedIn, they can also watch our series. Every week we try to talk about something to do with video. This week, today, it's about whether you should make your video square or horizontal and why.
Do you know millennials prefer the vertical?
Square now.
Is it?
Watch our show today.
All right, well, I'm going to have to know this. I just spouted something off.
Well, I think I started it off by saying it's hip to be square.
Right.
So, but things change and things evolve, and so part of that show is that we're not necessarily selling or telling like the technical requirements of what we do with video production, but more so trying to break down that wall, answer questions about if you do need video or if you're thinking about it. That you're probably going to learn a little bit about the video stuff, so that by the time you get to make that decision, oh man, we need video. Maybe we've helped answer some questions about the stuff that you need. And things are happening so quickly. Like, it's got to be a story video because that's the way that your phone is. It's got to be that horizontal piece. But what we're finding is that what you showed me is that within LinkedIn and a couple of other places that the square video actually takes up more property.
78%
and
more.
it's actually, being... Anyway, there's different ways that you can do it.
Now, here's something I heard, too. So what do you guys think about the length of these videos?
Oh,
Good question.
well,
We have a video
3
about that.
minutes. We do have a video about that. Yeah. It's last Tuesday.
Yeah, last Tuesday. But so generally speaking, when I got into this and really started producing video, I wanted to be the king of the 2-minute video. That's what I wanted to be. And then, 2 weeks ago, it was like, no, if we're not doing a 6-second video, we got problems. Then I started talking about a 1-second video that the Capitals did with Ovi, where he just said, Merry Christmas. It was a 1-second video. But now when we loaded something to Facebook last week, it said, this video should be 3 minutes.
To optimize. Yeah.
Right.
To optimize. And I took a step back. And at that point, in our Two Producer Tuesday segment, we talk about the difference between video content and a video
ads.
ad. So in video content, maybe 3 minutes is it. I mean, that's what Facebook says. But with an ad, you might need to be thinking about 6 seconds, and 15 seconds is probably the most important place to be.
So a couple friend of mine, that they're stand-up comics, and they put out their specials on YouTube. And what they found out was when they put the whole 60-minute special on YouTube, that people would stop watching around 10 minutes in, and they'd bail. Yeah. But then they'd break it into 3-minute segments, and when they add up all the 3-minute segments, they had millions of views. Yeah. So that people would watch the whole thing, but they wouldn't do it all at once. Yeah. They'd have to do it in chunks. Yeah. And that's where our attention span is now as a people.
And that's just
I stopped paying attention 3 minutes into this.
Yeah.
I know what we're talking about.
No, but then also it's like feeding that habit when you break it into 3 minutes like that. I mean, there's a bit of enjoyment in something stopping, going, ooh, I get to get more. Ooh, I get to get more. Right. So that 3-minute video ends, and you're like, let me get the next one. Let me get the next one. And all of a sudden, you've been sitting there for the same hour. Huh. But you got that. You fed that habit.
We keep telling people their videos have to be no more than 3 minutes, although ours are like 6 minutes. And we're like, why is it 6 minutes? It's all really valid. We're not cutting any of it.
Well, Tim can never do video because, see, this guy right here, man, doesn't have a power cord attached to him. Tim doesn't trust batteries.
Boy, hey, tell me about it, man. I've had batteries cut out.
Thank you, Torrey. Thank you very much.
Oh, man.
All right, well, so it's Two Producer Studio, right?
Two Producer Studios.
Yep.
.com.
Check it out online.
And Torrey and Liz, thank you so much for having us. It's absolutely fantastic.
Thank you so much.
All
It
right,
was awesome.
great.
Appreciate it.
Bye.
This has been the Maryland Crabs podcast with Tim Hamilton and John Fernay. Sure to follow them at all the regular places, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and online at themarylandcrabs.com. Take a moment to rate us on iTunes. Now, get the hell out of my kitchen. Seriously, go!
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.